Knowing how to win battles in War of Dots is very, very important. But there's a lot of tactics and strategies that you can use that make you better at the game. However, some of these are more niche and very, very hard to notice without looking at a guide. So that's why in today's video, I'll be showing you guys the War of Dots guide made by Mr. Cake7173 and vReZzaR's. Also, I highly suggest you look at their guide because their document will be getting updated every single day, but you know, my video after like a day of being uploaded is already outdated. So okay, so the first thing I'll be showing you guys in the map editor are weak spots. Now, how do you see a weak spot? Well, weak spots are basically spots on the map that are really easy to capitulate. Makes sense, they're weak. Here I'll be showing you guys the most important thing, in my opinion, to win a battle. It is the micro meta. Now, meta just means most efficient tactic available. Now, what is trading? Well, let's say you see this troop right here. Let's say we go with here and we attack this guy. So they're both fighting now. We're gonna move this troop because the tanks are better on sand, and we attack both. We attack with we do a 2v1. So obviously this is gonna work in our favor, but it does something else which not a lot of people know, because I mean, I didn't know. I knew it was good, but I didn't know how that worked. Well, this troop right here, they're gonna be fighting. They're gonna be battling it out. But this troop has God mode now. So two of your troops are attacking one enemy troop, but this tank has God mode, meaning it doesn't take damage. Now, morale still goes down, and morale, as we will know later, is still very important. However, this is a weak spot because you can attack with two troops at once. You want to keep this in mind. Yeah, this. I know it looks complicated, but it's really simple when you actually look at it. So you want to move like your tanks away, and you want to do something like this because the normal infantry troops do not get affected. So something like that, yeah. Anyways, after successfully trading, this troop should just go away. And now that weak spot has opened up the map a little bit. Now you wanna do the same in other areas. Now there's something I can't visualize in this graphic. However, you wanna cycle. This is our first term that you'll have to know. You wanna, when they start to shatter, you wanna move them away, and you wanna cycle. You wanna move new troops in, troops that are on your cities. But we'll know later why they're on your cities, but you want to just cycle these troops out. So you want to make sure that fresh troops with high morale is extremely important in this game. You want to make sure you just cycle these troops out a little bit. Okay, but why do we have our troops on our cities? Well, this is how you generate eco, also known as funds, or how I like to say money. Yeah, it's basically how you generate money. So let's say your enemies, they all move their troops up here, up here, up here. They're tired of losing. They want to do Blitzkrieg. Yes, that's a strategy in this game. Blitzkrieg. Basically, they want to try fighting you and like taking care of you as fast as possible. However, they don't have any troops on their cities anymore, meaning they will not make money. Money, or eco, or funds, however you like to call it, is how you make troops. If they're at 0 eco, like they have no money, they will actually go in a deficit, meaning they're losing money, and their troops are going to start to die. Yes, die, because upkeep per second for one of these troops are 1. Yes, you have to upkeep your troops. You can't have like 1,000,000 troops in only one city. It makes sense. However, you want to make sure some of your troops are on your cities because you're going to die. Your troops are literally going to starve and shatter if you go into like 0 funds. So yeah, money, very, very important. You want to make sure you have a lot of money, and you do that by keeping troops on your cities. But let's go back to Blitzkrieg, because Blitzkrieg is very interesting. Now in Blitzkrieg, you want to do the same thing as before. You want to start trading. You want to just trade and trade as many troops as you can. Keep in mind to cycle, because if you don't cycle, you're gonna lose. That's kind of the truth. So Blitzkrieg is basically just rush the enemy as fast as possible. However, I don't like Blitzkrieg in this game. The problem with Blitzkrieg is that you can't, like, there's no RNG in this game. There's literally no RNG, meaning you can't like expect to randomly win against these troops. You won't have enough time before your funds run out. And like, what if, let's say this guy decides, okay, hey, I'm a madman, what if I want to go through the mud and capture one of your cities? Yeah, guys, remember, these guys still exist. These are not useless. They still exist. I don't know why I have a troop there. So Blitzkrieg, very risky. It only works if you have a lot of weak points. But even then, I wouldn't recommend it, but it is an interesting tactic. But let's say we have one troop on the city. Well, how much funds, eco money, does it generate? It generates 5 funds. Now, that means that one troop takes care of 4 others, because, you know, including this one troop, so 5 troops. You can have multiple troops on a city generating funds. You want to make sure, for example, this right here would generate 0 funds. This right here would generate 5 funds, and this right here would generate 10 funds a second. Your troops only have to be touching a single pixel of the yellow for it to count. This is something I like. You can have something like this with here now generating 20 eco a second. Now this does take a lot of, you know, you have a lot of pressure here on the front. However, what if you don't care about the pressure on the front? Well, let's take a look at a different strategy. The next strategy we will be talking about is the Wirtstrat. My favorite strategy. It is also the hardest one to perform. Now, notice how we were talking about eco and funds earlier, and how you could put multiple troops on one city. Well, what if you take that to the extreme and put as many of your frontline troops on the cities? Now, the problem with this is pretty self-explanatory. You're going to be getting pushed in like very far. Now I know what you might be wondering. This is a dumb strategy. You're literally getting pushed in. You have no troops. They have a troop advantage. How are you going to win this? Well, let's say they think they're gonna win, so they take their troops out of their cities. Okay, notice what we said about funds. They're generating 0 funds. However, upkeep is 1 fund. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So currently they're losing 16 funds a second. Yes, 16. However, we, 1, 2, 3, 4, we also have 16 troops, but we're not losing 16 funds a second, because over here we're making 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 funds. So this averages out about, we're getting a plus 14 funds a second. Now, plus 14 funds a second is a lot, and they're losing 16 funds a second. But okay, what are you yapping about? How is this useful? Because if we look on the front line, it's not going well for our troops. They're getting like heavily pushed in, and they're losing. So how is this a good strategy? There's no way this is efficient. Yeah, you're getting like completely pushed in. Like, this used to be our line, now this is a useless strategy. Well, they're out of funds. We, however, have a lot of funds. If we were holding the line for, let's say, 5 minutes, if I do the math, times 5, we would have 4,200 funds. Now, how did the troops work? Well, let me look in the guide. A normal infantry troop cost 200 funds, and a tank cost 400 eco money funds. So we have 4,200 eco. They have 0 eco. They have no money. They're broke. So how can we use this to our advantage? Well, finally, this is risky now. You move your troops all at once. You move your troops. So let's say we have one up here, we have one up here, we have one up here. Now you want to start moving all of your troops there. Now I know what a lot of you guys might be saying. Isn't it kind of too late? Well, no, they don't have money. Meaning this is all of their troops. However, if I do the math, we can spawn in 7 normal infantry troops and 7 tanks. So this is what we can all spawn in. So you set your production to max, and this is what you can spawn in. And if we take a look at this, yeah, red team is not going to win. And keep in mind, they've been kind of suffering already. Some of their troops are already cracked or kind of getting destroyed because they don't have funds anymore to upkeep their troops. We also are currently, some of our troops are also kind of dying because we also don't have any funds anymore. We spend all of them. Yeah, you win. That is Wirtstrat strategy. You basically momentarily go, like, get pushed back heavily, make sure to, gather as much funds as you can, and then push them all at once. I will be linking down below the Discord server of War of Dots, and there you can ask Mr. Cake himself for the document. But I won't be linking it down below because YouTube is just They don't like it when you link other stuff. So you can look at the document there, but keep in mind that as of right now, the Wirtstrat strategy is broken. Usually you would have more funds in eco than, you know, upkeep. So even though it would be going down, you would have enough time. However, now it's the strategy doesn't work anymore as of right now because it's bugged. Let's say you have these troops right here, and this one is shattered, and this one isn't, but is at like 55% health. This one won't regenerate health unless it's on a city. This one, however, will need to go on a city because, you know, you want to regenerate its health, but it won't regenerate past 50%. It won't regenerate its health. I forgot to mention how the game works because it's so simple. Basically, you click on your troops and then you hold a line and then press enter or right click for them to move. That's the main gist of it. You can also press 1 through I think 8 on your keyboard, 7 being the most important, bringing up the production screen. Yeah, that is about everything you need to know for now. Again, you want to make sure you gotta look for weak spots. This is one of those weak spots. They're going to reinforce though. Notice how this one isn't losing health anymore, but this one is. That's God mode. Now, morale, you want to make them stop fighting because they need high morale. Morale is something I'll get into in a minute. It's very complicated. Cool. Low morale, low health. Move it out. You're gonna shatter. Low morale. Move out. Cool. So these troops, they're kind of dying. They have very little morale, however. So we are pushing in with a troop that right here. This guy has low morale, has low damage. So this guy's battle damage output is going to be extremely low. Like when I say extremely low, I mean like extremely. Now, I don't know if I can show you guys. Now, the reason I went into a game is because I wanted to show you guys encirclements. Now, what are encirclements? Basically, pockets of enemy like this. These troops, because there's no city here, they're going to lose. You see how they're trying to get here? When a troop is encircled like this, they receive encirclement penalty. Slowly, their health goes down, down, and down. So you want to make sure you can encircle your enemies. By that I mean you want to put them into a pocket that they can't escape without them being in a city. 2v1, activate God mode. Here we have an encirclement and they don't have a city. So yes, encirclements, very, very important. Their casualty numbers just skyrocket when they're encircled. There's nothing they can do. Now let's go into another battle, and I want to talk about, if you press 7 on your keyboard, you can see this city thingies. Now you can click on one of your cities. This basically shows where you want to produce stuff. Let's say I want to produce stuff right here, not in this city, so you remove them. This slider right here shows you the percentage chance of you producing a troop. Meaning this is 100% you produce a troop as soon as you reach enough funds to do so. And this means, this right here means you don't want to produce any troops. Usually I want to keep this at kind of a max like this. For Wirtstrat strategy, you want to put this, when the time is right, at completely max. You want to produce as many as possible. And this right here shows you the percentage chance of there being either a light troop or a heavy troop. So let's say I want 100% light troops or 100% heavy or 60% light troops. This is very customizable. Also, with up arrow, you can make the game go faster. However, the problem with this is that it's really laggy for me. Okay, and they will turn into a navy, and the navy boats, they're kind of cool, but they're kind of useless because they're so weak. They're really weak. So how the navies work is they can go on water. They do not change front line thingies. They don't change the front line. However, you can like use it to tactically, like, let's say this was the enemy city, you can like use it to, you know, strategically invade the enemy. Now there's a reason why I lined up these troops over here. Now we're going to talk about health and morale. Finally, the biggest and most complicated section of the whole guide. If we're assuming the units were at 0% health, but not like dead, even though that's impossible, but let's assume it is possible. And they have a city right here. Let's say they all collectively share the city. I don't want to make this like impossible to understand. With a city, the normal infantry, the normal ones, would take 2 minutes and 46 seconds to heal up, and the tanks would take 5 minutes and 33 seconds. Now this is a long time. I mean, most battles are only going to be about 20 minutes, so this is a long time for your troops to be healing. Without a city, however, the normal troops are 5 minutes and 33 seconds without a city. And the tanks are 11 minutes and 6 seconds. Yes, 11 minutes. Most games are over by then. Now, what about morale? Now, morale, you can get morale after not fighting for 1 minute and 23 seconds. So, okay, morale seems useless, right? Well, it's not. Taking a quote from the guide itself, health and morale affect the ability of your units to do damage, hereby referred to as battle strength. Battle strength is dependent on 4 factors. The terrain the unit is standing on, defined by the pixel right underneath them. The morale of the unit, so if it has 70% morale or 100% morale, it does matter. The current health of the unit, so if it has 20% health or 80% health. And the maximum health of the unit, for example for tanks it's 200, for normal infantry it's 100. Hey guys, it's editing me here again because I wasn't really quite satisfied with my explanation and I knew that people would be confused. So let's talk about the formula used to calculate battle strength. Well, it's a normal infantry It's a normal damage that the infantry does, so let's say 0.08 on normal planes. So the calculation is 0.08 times 0.8 times 100 through 100 plus 0.2 times the square root of 100 divided by 100 equals 0.08 times 0.8 plus 0.2 times 1 equals 0.08. So we just got 0.08 equals 0.08. It's quite basic. That's because we have 100% health, 100% morale, so nothing changes. However, okay, but let's say our troop has 50% health and 0% morale. Well, we get 0.08 times 0.8 times 0 divided by 100 plus 0.2 times the square root of 50 divided by 100 equals 0.08 times 0.2 times the square root of 0.5 equals 0.0113 attack battle strength. Now that is extremely weak. That is 8 times as bad, and your troop is basically useless if it has 0 morale and only 50% health. It is practically useless. And when I say useless, I'm not lying to you. You have to keep in mind the battle strength. You have to keep in mind the morale. That is already 8 times less than before. Surprisingly, right, the biggest factor is the morale. Okay, so let's say we're assuming that the morale is at 50% instead of 0, and the HP is also at 50%, then we would get out, using the formula, a number 0.0339, which is twice as good. Meaning that HP and morale are basically the same, but the lower the morale gets, the more useless the troop gets. There's a huge drop off. It's quite noticeable if you know maths and you know what this thing here means, but the drop off is noticeable, and morale really makes your troops useless if it is really low. So yeah, keep the morale in mind, and that's basically all you need to know. Back to the rest. And then there's the micro meta, which is basically efficiently activate God mode. I mean, we've already done this by now. So yeah, that is everything that as of now is in the guide. Now, unfortunately, it would be better if I understood the health and morale more, even though it is explained very well in this document. It is just I'm not good with math. That's kind of my weak spot, math. But yeah, that was it. That is everything you need to know. So let's actually, I would go in a battle, in like a duel. Let's go in a 1v1 duel. Hopefully it doesn't lag. We're gonna do the Wirtstrat strategy. Hopefully that low Wi-Fi, low FPS button doesn't appear. Morale at 0. It does no damage. But which one of these guys are? Okay, so this guy. Okay. Okay, they're trying to encircle this. I don't think they will. Okay, we are not doing that bad. We're not doing that bad. We have a battle. We have a few battles we're winning. These guys are pushing in there for no reason. Our troop didn't make it, apparently. We got an encirclement going. Oh, we're getting encircled. Okay, well this changes things. This changes things a lot. No! What? Okay. Hey! Hey! Oh my goodness, dude! Dude, the command isn't taking over. Damn. Oh. Oh no. Okay, wait, hold up. Attack here. They're trying to do encirclements like that, but that's not gonna work because they're encircled. They are winning in the north, however, and that's kind of concerning, considering I don't have anything in the north. Okay. Funds, how we're looking on funds? We're looking good on funds. I don't think this is a problem of funds. You know, something that I don't like about this game is Dotkiller right now can see that you know, he's losing, and he could just leave. And not just like troops, he has a lot of weak troops, but I don't think that's gonna help. But what the hell? There's a god mode there. I don't want that. I'm gonna lose. No! Okay, I can't, okay. I have to attack this. I don't have to attack you like that. What? No! No way! No way! No way! No way, no way, no way, no way, no way. No way. Oh man, they're a master at encircling, or either I'm just so dumb to see them. Okay, we have more modernized troops on the border now. Okay. Jeez, man. I was low-key hyperventilating there for a second, cause don't. Please, Peter Griffin. Oh, Peter. Oh yeah, retreat. You guys better retreat. Low-key don't think of this guy more than just the AI. I'm gonna be honest. You can't be in your head like, oh this guy's kind of good. This guy knows how to play the game. No, look, I'm gonna be honest. In the north, I'm not doing well. I'm kind of struggling. But in the south, that's no. Okay. Now I want to attack like small again. Do small attacks. Oh, this guy's gonna encircle me. Oh, he's not bad. He is not bad. It's just that I have an advantage now, and he can't do a lot to my advantage. He's still trying to encircle me. He did encircle me there, but only because I was pushing in. Hopefully this battle guide helped you out a little bit. Unfortunately, I would play like 3v4s and 4v4s, but it's really laggy, and I get like 1 minute delays on my troop, and that's just game over. So yeah, hopefully I helped you out. Hopefully I showed you some new things. If you didn't understand this video or didn't understand what I meant, because you know, a lot of times I wasn't speaking like the most coherently, please look at the guide yourself. Made by Mr. Cake7173 and vReZzaR. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe. Please, I'm so close to 500. My goal is still 500 before March, and we don't have many days in February left. So, if you could help me out by subscribing and liking. I mean, I don't know if liking is still useful as it used to be. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.